Oh, and this is how we get down. I am hyped today. What's good, everybody? Welcome in. Thursdays, you know what time it is. We dominate not one, but 2 full hours right here on the Stadium Network and all of their platforms. Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Vizio, LG. We are everywhere. And twice as nice on Thursdays, 10 to 11, Coach and Company. And then, of course, Coach and Bro, 11 to noon, the fastest growing remote YouTube wrestling show with my guy from JCW, the greatest writer of all time, my man Vince Russo. Now, a little bit of housekeeping before we bring in the guys on a busy news day, a busy sports day, sort of. We even had a winning day yesterday, despite the fact that my 2 picks stunk. Well, Real Madrid and Man City, they had 3 goals in the first half. Couldn't find the back of the net in the second half. However, Big Tommy C, he was moving lines. That went off at 239, 240. It's still, as we talked about here on the show, still sailed into the 250. So that was an easy cash as well. So a nice 5-4 day. Let's piggyback off that today. Now, as far as our schedule is concerned, in addition to Coach and Bro at 11 to noon, 2 p.m. Eastern time, it is Off the Ropes with the Coach, your boy, on SiriusXM. It's the fastest growing channel at Sirius. It's amazing. Part of the SiriusXM sports family, Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. It's all things John Cena because Cena's career in the ring ends on Saturday. We talk more about that today as well. Then do not forget, at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight, it's our next premium pop-up. You can become a premium member, and you can do it right now. Scan the QR code, and I'm telling you, it will pay for itself in like half a play. We live bet, we discuss, and also at the end of the day, it's not even about the money. It's not even about the winning bets. It is about the community. It is about the discussion, the chat. And speaking of the chat, if you're watching right now on YouTube, hit that like button for me. Really helps the show grow. And then also, if you want to rep the brand and you want to buy maybe a nice little Christmas gift for somebody right now, well, you can go to our merch store at any point. We are currently working on 3 new things. We've had some personnel issues, only so many hands to help out, but we'll get some new merch up there in the next couple of weeks as well. All right. I believe that is all of the housekeeping. Coming up in the next 45 minutes, we'll tackle the biggest NBA game tonight. Also, a little news and notes. Also, can a 44-year-old quarterback who's been retired for almost 5 years, can he really start this Sunday? We'll talk about it. Thursday Night Football starts Week 15, the Falcons and the Bucs. And, of course, on front page news, a scandal at Michigan nobody saw coming, at least none of us. All right. Without further ado. Oh, my guys are ready. Let's get to it. It's time to beat the books. A shout out to Not Without Hope sponsoring the show today in theaters on December 12th, starring Josh Duhamel. These 2 are not Josh Duhamel. However, why are we looking like that's a confusing statement to either one of you? Oh, DG. I mean, the wife might think that you're Josh Duhamel. They might. Good morning, live from Memphis, Tennessee.
Morning, listen, I don't understand the shot. My wife, that might be all that matters about looking like Josh Duhamel, right?
I know. That's why I'm giving her the credit.
Yes. She has bad eyesight, though.
Well, I mean, you can't have everything, right? You can't have everything. Now, he is from SureDog USA, and I believe that I saw a tweet yesterday that my man is expanding his portfolio. Is that right, Mikey P?
It is, Coach. I'll be doing trending news in the NFL and NBA for PFSN, formerly known as the Pro Football Sports Network. But, yeah, they do all things. And you know what, Coach? I felt that you were fired up. I felt that this was a vibe today. So I wanted to vibe with everybody in the season of the holiday spirit. Let's go. Just 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away.
Did anybody see the Baylor women's basketball video last night? Did you see it, DG?
I did not.
So she gets fouled on a 3-pointer. They're up by 40, by the way. They're up 64-24. And the Baylor coach screams at her, "You better not miss any of these 3." She hits the first 2. She starts laughing at the free throw line. They start taking cutaways of the whole crowd. There's a bunch of kids. I think it was like kids' night at this game. They're like waiting. They're waiting. She hits the third free throw. They nail 67 and all these kids. And then guess who did it last? The head coach. She was doing this too. I was like, this is exactly what it should be about. It was awesome. It was fun. And you know we're here. We're all about fun. Gentlemen, we've got a lot to get into. All right. But first and foremost, are we a betting show? Yes. But we are following the trend of what Stadium is going to be doing. We're going to be leaning a lot more into sports talk, kind of radio on TV, because I believe that betting content is fine, but it can only take you so far. And we do a 365. You want to talk about sports. That's what we're all about. So that's what we're going to start doing, and we're going to start doing it today. So our best bets will always still be first. So I asked the question. Oh, wow, DG. Wow. Little slow on the draw. Mikey P, best bets. Go.
Thursday night football is here. Football is back. It felt like it was been a whole week after the Bears lost, but that's neither here or there. Baker Mayfield, over 218.5 passing yards going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, Mike Evans is back. More on him later. But with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin finally getting healthy, I think we're going to see just how good Baker Mayfield can be with all of his weapons, which leads me into my next best bet. Buccaneers team total over 24.5. More weapons, more opportunity, more points.
I like it. I think, obviously, the three of us are all over Baker Mayfield tonight for obvious reasons. So, DG, let me come over to you. We'll get to Baker in a second. What are your two best bets? What are their plays?
Let's start with Twinkle Toes, Baker Mayfield. We're going to go over the 18.5 rush yards. It's at minus 114. The Falcons allow the fourth most rush yards to the quarterback. Well, Baker's over in 4 straight games. Atlanta allowed 20-plus rush yards in 5 of the last 6 games, so why not make it 7 here? We're going to go with over the 18.5 rush yards. And then now to his kicker, Chase McLaughlin, over 7.5 kicking points at minus 115. I couldn't believe this number was what it was because he's had 8-plus kicking points in 3 of the last 4 games. Atlanta has allowed 2-plus field goal attempts in 85% of the games this season. But, Coach, in the last 5 games, Atlanta has allowed 3 field goal attempts in each game to the opposing kicker. Why doesn't Chase go off tonight? He will. We're going to cash this ticket tonight.
I kind of hope. Can we take it to are you guys seeing the recap screen, or is that just me?
That's the recap screen.
Yep. Okay, well, let's take that down, go to 3 shot, and get the right screen up there for best bets quickly. I kind of hope that one doesn't hit. because I'm on the over 44. And if we get a bunch of field goals, what was the game last week, by the way, where we were on the show, we were like, there's not going to be any field goals. Oh, it was Detroit. It was the Lions game and the Cowboys. Yep. And what they do, 4 field goals in the first half. I like the over 44. This may go against the trend, guys, because the reason I feel that way is this has got to be on Baker Mayfield. Mine are correlated here. They're 7-6. They just lost to the Saints, for God's sake. They're tied with the Panthers. There's only 4 games left in the season. So what do? You lean on your stars. So I like the over 31.5 passing attempts, and I like the over 44 because let me check my notes. Here's what the teams that have played against the Bucs have scored. Saints scored 24. The Rams scored 34. The Bills scored 44, and the Pats scored 28. That's in the last 5 games. So if they're allowing that many, well, certainly the Bucs can get to 20. And to me, if both teams get to 20, I almost played both teams to score 20 points. I think we can get 44. Plus, the Bucs landed right on this number with the Saints on Sunday. I just have this feeling it's going to be a wide open game. They can't afford to be conservative, and I think that will lead to a high-scoring game. DG, do you agree with that or not agree with that?
I do agree with that. We obviously have Drake London that's out, which is a good spot for Kyle Pitts. But if you look at Baker, I think since the bye in week 8, I don't believe he's went over the 200-plus passing yards so far. And so this could be a big breakout game for him tonight.
Yeah, and his number's only 215.5 right. at most books. It's very enticing. But we've played some other overs. What was it, Mikey? I can't remember the game, but the number was like 198. And we're salivating. We can't wait to play it. There's a reason it's 198. There's a reason it's 215. But to DG's point, I think tonight you can throw all that out the window. We'll dive into it more in about 30 minutes. But I think that all of us agree that it's got to be Baker Mayfield stepping up and stepping out.
And I think on the other side with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, if you're Baker Mayfield, you tell your defense, hey, just get me the ball. I'll do the rest. Because we have not seen a single thing from Kirk Cousins this year that makes us believe he's competent enough to lead that Falcons offense down the field consistently. He can get a few big plays, but I think if you're Baker, you want the ball as often as possible, and I think he's going to be the number one playmaker tonight.
Now, 2 weeks from today is Christmas Day. I don't even know if producer man knows it yet that he's working on Christmas morning, but he is. He is. We'll have some type of a show, maybe Tate, maybe on demand, but we'll have something because we will have NFL games on Christmas. So we have spent this entire month trying to give away presents that could help you with your sports fandom or help you just with being a sports bettor. So it is day 11 in our 25 days to Coachmas. Oh, the music just makes me feel good. All right, Mikey P, upper right, what gift are you unwrapping this morning?
Mike Evans is back, and it's not just because we're seeing one of the most, in my opinion, underrated future Hall of Famers we've seen in his decade of football, but what is he going to do for this Buccaneers offense? We've just talked about Baker Mayfield and all of it being on him tonight, but Emeka Egbuka, I'm giving a big old bear hug to Mike Evans when he walks in the locker room. Thank you. You're going to open more plays for me, so I'm super excited. Welcome back, Mike Evans.
Yeah, Egbuka only 2 catches, 15 yards because they're double teaming his ass all over the field. DG, my guy, what present are you opening under the tree today?
Yeah, let's look at this OKC Thunder team, and they make me sick by how good they really are in the NBA, but they just won last night in an NBA Cup quarterfinal game, like one that actually matters. Well, they beat the Suns by 49 points, which is disgusting basketball from the Suns. But if I look at this now, Thunder team, they are tied for the best start in NBA history, 24-1, tying the Warriors, who hold the record for most wins in a season. I think we see the Thunder eclipse that mark this season because they, by far, if they're healthy, they're going to be the best team in the league the entire season.
You know it's a bad loss when a team scores 89 and the over still comes in. Wow. All right, 2 quick ones. Raphael couldn't be here today. He's got to check on his health. Why? Because he's overworked, but yet he's a sicko. So his present this morning is all of this coaching carousel adds to his work, adds to his bottom line. So even though he complains about it, he's secretly very, very happy about it. Now, my gift this morning is every day we get a new press conference. Yesterday, Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana, DG's favorite team. Well, he met with the media because he's going to be in New York for the Heisman this Saturday. And he said, listen, I didn't want to tell anybody, but I secretly thought before the season, wouldn't it be cool if my name was there, if I was in New York, as if it's all brand new to him. This guy is as authentic as he is, and he proves to me it doesn't have to be all about the money. It can be about the love of the game, the teammates, the coaches, the family, which ironically is everybody he thanked in the press conference yesterday. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Gentlemen, we're just getting started here on Coach and Company. Still to come, NBA, Thursday Night Football, all of that. And we're presented, as always, right here by Not Without Hope, starring Josh Jamal in theaters tomorrow, December 12th.
Deep sea fishing? Crack of dawn Saturday?
We're gonna be all right. We're 4 big, strong men.
Nicholas, it's Mom. I know you went out fishing this morning. This big storm's supposed to hit.
We left some men out on the open water.
4 men in the middle of a giant storm.
This is now a rescue mission.
No visual. Weather getting worse.
Captain, is my boy still alive?
Hope is the strongest thing that we have.
Hang on!
We all know that SEC was NIL before NIL.
Hey, you know.
I love that laugh.
Look at it. You know,
hey, we're way past it. Can we now just admit it?
It's all good. Hey, you know what? I say, hey, Coach, you know, you've been out of coaching for a while, and how are you going to adjust that NIL? I said, well, it's a minor adjustment. And they said, what do you mean? I said back then we used to walk through the back door with the cash. Now we just got to walk through the front door with the cash.
That was busting with the boys. Coach O, tell you what, he does not lie. He's had some of the great quotes of all time. And DG, we've known that's what's been going on for years and years and years. Just nobody talked about it. They can talk about it now.
Yeah, I love that they're actually opening up about this and saying, hey, we still paid people just under the table through the back door instead of now, hey, everybody knows we're paying you.
Oh, my God, especially at LSU where he coached. And now you don't think Lane Kiffin is walking around with a bag of cash, Mikey P? Of course he is.
Hey, Coach O, tell Lane to go through the right door moving forward. Listen, all this talk about college football needing to get the right people in charge. We all talk about Nick Saban. Let's just put Coach O front and center. I can listen to that man talk about anything and everything. I'm here for him.
He would cut through the chase. Can you imagine the meetings that they would have talking about, all right, guys, now let's move the timetable on when. No, we're not. I mean, it would save so much time. And it would save so much nonsense because right now, and we're getting ready to talk about the Michigan stuff, DG, college football, I don't think, or college athletics has never been at a bigger tipping point than we are today.
Yeah, there's so much happening, and we will 100% get into the new for-profit that now Utah is doing, but also this other stuff that is happening within the I guess the grand scheme of things within college sports. It is turning absolutely a professional sport at this point, and we're going to see a big changes in the next 5 to 10 years.
No doubt about it. College football front and center, bowl games, a lot of teams not playing, a lot of teams are. College football playoff is going to be exciting. At the end of the day, it's a ton of content. There's a ton of stuff to talk about, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We are back live with Front Page News on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Company. 2 full hours this morning on the Stadium Network, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube TV. We are thrilled to be on all of these platforms every single day. Now, there's a ton of news in the sporting world, but none bigger than what came out and happened yesterday in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's time to get into it. Front Page News. The phrase, how in the world can you do this, is the first thing that came out of my mouth. But setting the stage for those of you that did not see the story, Michigan, arguably one of the top 3 to 5 names, schools, jobs of all time, now has an opening. That's Coach Ron Moore, who got his big break, making $5.5 million a year. Came out yesterday. He has been fired for an illegal affair with a staff member, turned out to be his assistant, and he is married with 3 kids at home, and it got worse, guys, because after the story came out, he was then arrested. He is now in jail pending assault charges. We're not going to get into all those details. We're going to focus on the here and the now. And DG, Michigan is now embroiled in what is probably the biggest scandal they've ever had, coming off the Jim Harbaugh situation. And all of a sudden you go from a great job to what do they do moving forward?
I don't think the school or the university is in a bad spot, in my opinion, because you're talking about they had some down years under the helm of him coaching, but they weren't like bad years. And now they're going to get out from maybe a coach that they didn't believe in. And I know this whole scandal has its issues, but I don't think that the scandal will really affect the university as a whole. I still think it's a good program. There's a lot of NIL money behind it. I think whoever comes in is actually going to be at a great spot, as a catapult spot to jump off this program again.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point right there. If we just focus on the football part of this, a lot of the alumni, a lot of the people that give money like Dave Portnoy, I think secretly they're happy that the job's open. Not happy about how it got open, but I don't think he was anybody's choice at the time that he got hired. And what do I mean by that? Most top shelf coaches are now making $8 to $12 million a year. They got him for 5.5. That is absolute bargain basement prices. So, Mikey, when you get all of the salacious details out of the story, this might be a way for Michigan to reset with a coach they really want to have.
Yeah, actually, I love this side of the conversation because I absolutely agree with you, DG. The quickest way to move on from this is to move on from this. And the Michigan football players are going to want to exactly do that. I'm wearing a Boston Celtics hat. Remember this happened when Ime Udoka? 3 years later, they're raising a championship banner. So as quickly as Michigan can get everyone that matters inside that football program, whether it be the NIL boosters or former players or current players who are going to be on part of the team next year, this is a program that wants to move forward, should move forward, and I think they should be excited by what they have available to them moving forward.
And in that line, the odds came out. Luckily, we've got Raphael on our team. And the number one betting favorite is Jesse Minter. He's the defensive coordinator for the LA Chargers. But DG, the number 2 name, shocked me. And I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say, oh, that's a better job than this one. Kalen DeBoer has been at Alabama for not even 2 years, not even 2 seasons. They're a playoff team. They're Alabama. But he is plus 275 to be the next coach at Michigan. If that happened, if he takes this job, that will open up a can of worms that I can't even imagine in college coaching right now.
The expectations for Alabama are like so big after Nick Saban, and he was the first coach after Nick Saban. It was a bad spot for him, and now this Alabama team has 3 losses, potentially 4, because unless they win the whole thing, they're going to get another loss. And so we're talking about a coach that maybe the Alabama fans don't love. He could go to Michigan and honestly ride off to the sunset and have a great career there. But in my opinion, I look at this opportunity as a win-win. If he goes, it's a win. If he stays, it's a win. This is a great spot to be in for him because there's no reason that he has to go. But if he really wants to, if he wants to get paid, he can make that leap in a heartbeat.
It's amazing how different situations are looked at, differently. The Lane Kiffin thing, the way he went about it, just getting imploding, even still. But now, Mikey, Lane Kiffin's back in the conversation. Because remember what we talked about 2 weeks ago? Hey, if the Alabama job was open, Lane Kiffin would jump over people to try to get it. Well, now, as fate would have it, there is a very real possibility that Bama job could be open. Could you see a scenario that after signing a $100 million deal, $20 million in NIL money, Lane Kiffin, before he even coaches one game, before we even get to the new year, could be at Alabama?
Coach, could I see it? Absolutely. Do I want to see it? Absolutely. I don't know how long it takes for the ink to dry on those college contracts, but I'm sure Lane Kiffin's in there with an eraser going, wait. I want to put out a new tweet, and I want to announce my next decision a la LeBron James. I would absolutely love to see, because it's all about the college chaos. Right now, if we talk about Kalen DeBoer going to Michigan, I want to know who moves where, because the conversation, if we're not just talking about Lane Kiffin, does Bill Belichick want to stay at North Carolina? All these crazy concepts and ideas come to my brain. So I would love to see how that conversation goes.
See, I appreciate the fact that, and I respect you. But the one thing when you think of college chaos, I'm all about NFL chaos, but these are kids that right now, and this is how I always look at it, because I was one of them. And I'm certainly not coming down on you, Mikey, at all. But we saw the video the other day of the young kid when Brian Hartline, who just left Ohio State to go to South Florida, had to call him. He had been like the main recruiter. DG, these assistant coaches are the ones who do a majority of the recruiting. Can you imagine if you're a player signed to go to LSU after you left Ole Miss and now you're reading this or you're watching this show and then you're an Alabama player who followed him from what? I mean, it's absolutely banana land for the kids.
Yeah, that's the heartbreaking part of this, is because this is now turning into a professional sport, and we're going to continue to keep hammering that home. Like, this is so professional now within the college campuses. These kids are having to grow up really fast and make these tough decisions on where they're going to school, but also be hurt just as bad, because When you're college coach, usually it's the assistant coaches that are really recruiting you hard. That's the people that you buy into. Those are the people that move more often than not. It's not the head coach. The head coach is the CEO of this franchise, of this brand. He's the one steering the ship, but he's not the guy who you have the better relationship with. It's the assistant coach. It's the wide receiver coach. It's the O-line coach. It's those guys. And those are the ones that impact you the most. And that's why these dudes, they'll follow their assistant coach on their new and their first job because they love these dudes because they bought into them as a human being, not just a piece on the chessboard.
When you talk about coaching chaos, Raphael, our numbers guy, he's in the chat right now. He brings up a good point. There were some rumors going around yesterday that because of the chaos and the getting screwed over at Notre Dame, that Marcus Freeman could throw his name into the hat because there's a couple of NFL openings. And if he's respected, no doubt, but he would be looked at by me and others as, really, you want to take your ball and really, you're going to show your kids that you didn't get into the playoffs, so you're going to leave one of the greatest jobs in all of college football? Mikey, if he does that, that throws even more gas on the fire.
It absolutely does. We're talking about historic programs, Notre Dame, Michigan, the potential of Alabama. These jobs should not be open in 2025. But this is how college sports has changed, to DG's point, becoming more looked at as a professional business. And it's unfortunate for the players, no doubt about it, Coach. But we're talking about some of the highest paid coaches going to the biggest opportunities. I would not like to see Marcus Freeman. I think it would be almost a worse look for him to leave Notre Dame than it was for Lane Kiffin to leave Ole Miss.
Yeah, they've been successful every single year. It would be a much worse look, but he also doesn't move the way that Lane Kiffin. This is the only big job that he has had. Now, one of the big caveats in all of these is, how much money are you going to give me for NIL? Well, that might be changing as well, because there's a lot of people out there that aren't happy. Dave Portnoy a couple of months ago, who led the charge to get their quarterback $12 million to Michigan. Oh, by the way, he says, I'm not going to give any more money. And now Troy Aikman, lead Monday night analyst, gave money to UCLA. DG, the player, got it. No thank you. No thank you note. Oh, and transferred out of UCLA after one season. And Troy Aikman says, I'm done. I'm not giving any more money to NIL. That may be the new norm moving forward, unless we can get some contracts and get these players to stay. And especially if they accept money at a school, they got to stay just like they would with a 3 or 4 year deal in the NFL.
Yeah, I wish we had contracts. That would make me happy. I know it'd make a lot of people happy, especially these donors. But I get Troy Aikman being pissed off and upset that he did not get a thank you note because, honestly, that'd be the kind gesture to do.
Mm-hmm.
But let me look at the other side of it, the player. I'm being guaranteed I'm getting money. I'm going to come there and I'm going to go do my job. I don't actually know where the money comes from most of the time. I would assume you don't know which donor's giving you the money. So I kind of want to talk out of both sides of my mouth on that, because I don't understand. If he didn't know, then I give him the pass. But let me just give you the analogy real quick. If I am the player and I'm going to go work at McDonald's and they're going to give me a signing bonus, I'm going to go there and do my job. Well, next year, guess what? Chick-fil-A calls and they have a bigger signing bonus, a bigger paycheck. I'm going there next. I don't blame the player in this. Do your 1 year, get your money and go, because at the end of the day, this is an actual job.
Yeah, I've worked in restaurants, and normally those signing bonuses are not paid until you complete a certain length of time, and they're called a signing bonus. I can't believe you just compared UCLA and Troy Aikman to Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. Yeah. I mean, we were having such a good segment there for a while. We really, really were. All right, gentlemen, well done. All right, so there's going to be more coming out, I'm sure, today on the whole Michigan situation. We will, of course, be covering it here at The Brand on social media and have our commentary. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of families involved. There's a lot of kids involved. So you got to be very, very careful on how you talk and who you talk about, and we absolutely will be here at The Brand. All right, we are just halfway home. Coming up on the other side, the NFL, don't forget about them. We've got a 44-year-old admitted out-of-shape quarterback that could be facing one of the best defenses in the entire league this coming Sunday. It's a story we don't believe. And also, Week 15 starts tonight. Falcons and the Bucs premium pop-up. Can't wait. This is Coaching Company live on Stadium, presented by Not Without Hope. Okay, you degenerates that continue to watch on a YouTube channel, hit that like button on your way in. Gentlemen, Quentin Jammer, he was a great player in the NFL. He retired in 2013. I don't know if he needed to get something off his chest or just felt guilty about it, but for some reason, he tweeted out in the last couple of days that back in 2011, he was completely drunk for at least 8 games, and he would routinely, Mikey, carry around 2 tequila bottles in his bag. I don't even know how you play drunk, but what's your take on the fact that he decided that after, 14 years, that he would reveal this now?
There's so many layers to this, Coach. I went and did my research. Number one, I believe him. There was only 3 years in which Quentin Jammer did not have an interception. His rookie year, his final year, and 2011. He had 18 interceptions coming into the 2011 season. So Quentin Jammer, I guess he's telling the truth. I guess that's how you play drunk, right? You just don't do your job.
My guess is that he's been going through some therapy, DG, in all seriousness, and that his therapist is like, listen, if there's anything that's been weighing on you, let it out. You're not playing anymore anyway. It's not going to affect your contract. But this is very eye-opening, and you wonder how many other players have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, the football in general is very tough on your body, and a lot of times you kind of have to cope in different ways. And so I would assume now, yes, the therapy bringing all this out, but going through that, he's like, hey, I can take pain pills, or you know what? I'll go to the bottle. I'll hit some tequila. And at that point, maybe your body feels good. I've played many a softball games intoxicated, many a kickball games for sure, but I would not play softball. Those dudes are big and they hit the ball hard. I can't imagine football.
Yeah. You were not playing for millions of dollars. No. Everybody's played beer league. It's called beer league softball for a reason. By the way, Lawrence Taylor, there's been a few other players out there that have used some substances, as it were. He did it, partied, and drove straight to a game and had 4 sacks. But he was a different breed, that Lawrence Taylor guy. All right, we're back live on the Stadium Network, YouTube, socials. 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. I am the coach. This is Coaching Company on a Thursday. We're only about halfway home. We just crossed the bottom of the hour. If you're watching us live, it is 10:32 in the East, 7:32 out here in the West, as we're just getting your day started. Thank you for spending it with us. Do not forget, you don't got to go anywhere at the top of the hour. It's the Coach and Bro Show, all things pro wrestling, and we have a lot of fun. You want to join us for that with Vince Russo, the greatest wrestling writer of all time. All right, it's time to talk NFL news and Thursday Night Football. Let's kick it off. All right, boys, there were a lot of smiles. There were a lot of laughs in the press conference as 44-year-old, almost eligible for the Hall of Fame quarterback Philip Rivers, meeting with the media. I don't know how many, Mikey, let's start with you, laughs there's going to be if indeed he's trending towards starting for the Indianapolis Colts, who are very much alive in the playoff picture. The problem is they're facing Seattle, and the Seahawks are really, really, really good. And he was asked, how much do you weigh now? He's like, I have no idea. But we know he's not in what you call game shape. Is this the most astounding, surprising, shocking story the NFL has had maybe in the last 20 years?
I don't know if I would go that far, but I will say this. Philip Rivers will get a quick reminder of why retired was his job title as he takes on the Seattle Seahawks. When you get hit by some of the young highlight defenders that the Seattle Seahawks have, he's going to be like, you know what? I was good on the couch. Let me go back to babysitting, be a grandfather. I don't think it's going to help the Colts' chances, and I think it's going to be an unfortunate reminder to why Philip Rivers hung him up.
Let's take the being in shape DG out of it. Just and I know he has a connection to this coaching staff. Yeah. But the playbook, the plays, all of that, how do you even get ready for that in 4 days?
That's what I was going to hit on, is because the simplification of this offense now going to Seattle, which is, if you know the playbook backwards and forwards, you feel kind of okay, but not great. Now you don't have a clue about most of it walking in. I don't understand how they're going to be competitive at all. I know they have Jonathan Taylor, but realistically, you're talking about having simple route schemes. I don't get how they're going to compete in this game, and that's the reason this is ballooned all the way up to 2 touchdowns of a line at this point.
I almost made it one of my best bets today. I was going to buy it down to 13.5. I mean, you've got a team in Arizona that got beat by 40 by the Rams last week. You don't think that Seattle, Mikey, can beat a Colts team that actually doesn't have a quarterback that's in shape or knows the playbook by more than 14? When we see games like that.
Can I throw a little stay on your toes story here? So apparently Phillip Rivers, as his son's coach at the high school level, has been talking to Shane Steichen ever since he retired, and they've ran the same offense. So in a weird way, he's been continuously getting the playbook over the last few years. It might be a little more complex for Phillip than his son, but there should still be some familiarity. I don't think it matters, but I thought that was a fun little twist on the story.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor might be a little different than little Johnny, who's a sophomore at American East High School and down there in Louisiana, wherever the hell that it was. All right, let's shift our gears to one of the big games this weekend. And right now, when we get to 4 weeks left, it's week 15. Every game matters, and I love DG that we're getting these matchups. But when you look at the NFC as opposed to the AFC, there's only one game this week that matters as much, and it's this one. Last week we said the Packers tie didn't help them. They beat the Bears. Now it does help them because the Bears are 9-4. The Packers are 9-3-1. And on the other side, you got the Denver Broncos, who would very much like to have the number 1 seed, home field throughout. The altitude is an absolute thing. How do you attack this game this weekend for your handicapping?
The way I attack this is I do not believe in the Packers. Give me the Broncos all day, every day. Going to altitude is a problem 100%, but I believe in this Denver Broncos defense. I get it. The Packers have been really good. They're offensive players. We don't know who is their best wide receiver. They lost Tucker Kraft in the tight end position. I really think that maybe I can believe in Bo Nix at this point in this Denver Broncos team.
Just rattles my cage that this team continues to get out of sticky situations, Mikey. And then last week, they were very much in control, and then they became a part of an absolutely ridiculous betting story as well. But this Broncos team, they figure out ways to win, and that's important.
Yeah, and I'm going to look at the other side. I don't think we're talking enough about how the Packers, while they ended the game on an interception of Caleb Williams, they allowed a guy who had 32 yards passing in the first half to bring his team all the way back. Now you're going on the road to one of the toughest places to play in the NFL with an elite defense. I think the Packers are in for a long day there in Denver, and I think Bo Nix will do just enough to get them over the hump.
We will be live Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, breaking down all of the big games on Sunday, and there's a lot of them. I mean, we may have to go 6-7 games deep. That's how many good games there are this weekend. All right, tonight, week 15. And on paper, if we had a couple of our team members here, I'd be throwing them off the damn show because I will not listen to this game sucks. This game's going to be terrible. Sometimes these games, DG, can be the best games. Tampa, they lose to the Saints last week. Not good. So now they're tied with the Carolina Panthers for first place in the NFC South. No wiggle room here. Falcons, they're already out of it. Kirk Cousins, he's back under center. The total has now moved down to 43.5. I love that because my best bet is the over, whatever that number is, not going over 44. The spread, though, you guys know what I call 4.5. Yuck. What do you call it, DG?
Yuck. That's what I call it as well. This is a stay away for me on the spread for sure. I do like the over. We talked about it in the very beginning. This is a game that could be electric. You can say this is Atlanta Falcons against the Tampa Bay Bucks, but I think there's going to be points on the board, hopefully some field goals. But I think that this team's are going to be electric from both sides. Both defenses are fine. They're not great. Both offenses are fine. They're not great. I think that's a great matchup for points in this one.
And I think both of these quarterbacks, too, when you're talking about the over, you need to have at least 2 or 3, Mikey, short field series. And both guys have been known to take chances, throw balls into a crowd, and throw interceptions. And I think tonight that could lead to the over, which we all agree could come in. But also the other thing I'm looking at is you got to lean into your stars. Even if you're 4-9, you got to go out there and show up and show out. And Kirk Cousins wants to prove that he's not washed up. He's got 4 games to show the Falcons, I'm still worthy of my $40 million a year contract. Your take?
I'm not sure he can prove that much value in the next 4 games, but he can be a backup quarterback in the NFL. For me, I will never sit here and dog this game because there are so many actual dogs on the field. Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Bucky Irving, Emeka Egbuka, the return of Mike Evans. I love tonight's game. I think the over does come in. I don't think we even sweat it. And speaking of not sweating, the Buccaneers will not sweat, in my opinion. I got them at least by a touchdown tonight.
Interesting. We haven't even really talked about the spread yet, but also when you're talking about props, DG, everybody loves to bet on big names. And right now this year, some of the aging stars like a Kelsey or others, you look at their number and they're like, yeah, it's right. Mike Evans has always been a guy that can go off for 8 for 100. He's not a take your top off the defense kind of receiver. Certainly not coming off of that injury. And he's had hamstring injuries in the past as well, which is why I love the attempts. I think it's going to be a lot of 8 to 10 play series because they don't have a go long type of threat. Do you think bettors, the public at home, are going to lean into Mike Evans because of the name, forgetting that he's missed a lot of time with injury?
I think they will, but also because of the lines are going to be lower than they have been. Just returning from injury, you're going to see a smaller line, so it's going to be very enticing. What I would say is just be careful a little bit. Even though this was not the hamstring injury, he should be healed on that one. But just getting back into football shape, it's a completely different beast. I love the run game for the Bucs here, but also receivers on the outside. Bijan Robinson catching the ball, he should just feast through the air against the Buccaneers tonight.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, is the hamstring always tends to come back when you're not in shape, when you're trying to use other parts of your body to compensate for other parts that might be injured. Here's the great part about the schedule makers in the NFL is that we know exactly how each one of these teams is going to win the NFC South. The Carolina Panthers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mikey, they still haven't played yet. They play week 16. They play week 18. So it's right there in front of the Bucs, but they can't stumble tonight thinking about 2 of the last 3 games of the year.
No, they cannot, and I believe they won't. The only 2 games that truly do matter are those 2 against the Carolina Panthers, but those games will not have significance if you're not coming into them with momentum, with the little proving ground of, hey, this is what we're building off of over our wins over the Falcons and the other games that they'll have before the Carolina Panthers. So for me, this is an absolute, not a get-right opportunity for Tampa, but a get-prepared opportunity because that's what they're going to need to do.
Yeah, Carolina, by the way, they play at the Saints this week. That's no pushover. Saints just beat the Bucs. Then they play Tampa, and then they play Seattle. But the only caveat, DG, is that Seattle will travel all the way to Charlotte. And we saw what happened when the Rams traveled all the way to Charlotte. So Carolina also is right in front of them.
Yeah, it's so much in front of them because that defense for the Panthers is sneaky good. Like a lot of people have written them off, but their offense may not be so electric, but that defense is legit. People have went into Carolina and struggled. You're talking about now a Seattle team coming all the way across the country and taking on that team. Yes, that will be a tough game for Seattle. I think that we look in this Panthers team as they take on week 18 against the Bucs. That's going to be winner takes the division for sure.
No, it's going to be great. And I hope they continue moving forward. I'm sure they will, to do the schedule this way. None of this nonsense of Tampa playing the Broncos in week 18. We want this. But can you imagine if you're Seattle or San Francisco or Chicago and you go 12-5 and all of a sudden you got to go to Tampa at 9-8 or Carolina at 8-9? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Fix that. All right, coming up on the other side, the NBA very light schedules. We're kind of in the middle of the NBA Cup week. There are 4 games tonight. We're going to focus on one. Also, we've got news on an NBA superstar that is scheduled to come back on Friday. But does it even matter at this point? We will discuss, and also we lock in our best bets. Still plenty to come right here on Stadium. It's Coaching Company presented by Not Without Hope, in theaters tomorrow. All right, boys, we are 8 days away from what could be one of the biggest massacres in the history of pro boxing. And I've got all the respect in the world for Jake Paul. He has taken on this sport head on. But it's been a bunch of MMA guys that are over the hill. But now, Mikey, he's going to step front and center against the former heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua. And if anybody thinks that it's going to be the same situation as Mike Tyson, Anthony Joshua can't afford to kind of carry him for 4 or 5 rounds. He's got Tyson Fury waiting for $40 to $50 million, which, by the way, that's how much he's going to make for this fight. But he's got to come out and destroy him. I seriously am scared. I'm legitimately scared for Jake Paul.
The biggest thing is not the what's at stake here for Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. It's about the fact that Anthony Joshua, more than any other opponent Jake Paul has ever faced, has gone through the ringer of boxing. He lost to Andy Ruiz embarrassingly, and then went and folded Francis Ngannou. So you talk about the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Anthony Joshua has been through it all. Jake Paul, I don't think he's ready for that.
DG, we just saw that picture that was shown on Pat McAfee yesterday. He's got a completely broken nose from sparring with these heavyweights. He might walk in at 215. Anthony Joshua is going to be 245, 250, and he's probably 6 or 7 inches bigger. I understand biting, but biting off this big of a bite?
I don't get the fact that why this is the matchup. You're talking about Jake Paul. He's undersized. The reach isn't there. There's a lot of negatives factoring into him and his boxing match here. I don't understand what his thoughts are other than money. But maybe he's going to look at this and ride off into the sunset after this one, maybe, because he's going to get destroyed one way or the other.
Well, remember, this originally supposed to be Tank Davis, and Davis fights at 150 to 160. We're talking about 100 pounds difference in opponents. I'm a little shocked that they approved it, but he does weigh over 200 pounds. They were saying it the other way with he's so much bigger than Davis. It's fascinating. Bottom line, guys, people are going to be watching this thing, and so will we. Maybe a live watch along. Who knows? We're back in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and company, lock it in with our best bets coming up in about 5 minutes. Don't forget, top of the hour. You don't have to go anywhere if you're watching on Stadium right now. We've got another full hour, all things pro wrestling, with me and Vince Russo on the Coach and Bro Show. Now, quickly, one topic I want to hit on before we hit on the one game. Tomorrow, Golden State is home to the T-Wolves. And, DG, you're my NBA guy. Steph Curry, he's been out for a couple of weeks with an injury. They're 13-12. He's scheduled to come back tomorrow night. But at this point, is this Golden State team just beyond what even Steph Curry can make good?
No, I don't believe that at all. I think Steph Curry can make any team good. But also, you look at this team and how they're structured. Like, Draymond needs a Steph Curry to be really good. Jimmy Butler really excels when there's another player that can demand the attention. He can do all the dirty work. And so because of that, I think that you're looking at this team that Golden State has. They're built around Steph Curry. They also brought in his little brother as well. So to make sure that they have some shooting to surround these other players.
Yeah, they just made enough room money-wise. And Seth Curry's he's a dead eye, but he's not a guy that can dribble around a lot. So I think he's going to be a really good fit sitting in the corners for this team as his brother runs around 11 miles a game. He normally runs in the NBA. It's absolutely bananas. Mikey, what do you make of Steph finally getting back on the court Friday night?
I agree with DG. I think Steph can help this team, a Warriors team that's above 500, even without him, sitting currently 8th seed in the West, thanks to Pat Spencer. Yeah, go find out who that guy is. And that's a testament to the coaching staff that they have as well. We're going to find out just how significant Steph Curry is, because when he returns on Friday, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, one of the top teams in the West, we'll see the impact Steph has, and I think it'll be quite noticeable.
All right, well, that's tomorrow, full slate of NBA games. But tonight, there's only 4. And if this was 2022, DG, we'd be talking about, man, number 1 versus number 2. Tatum, Giannis. No Tatum and part-time Giannis. And right now, the Celtics, because of Giannis being hurt with the Achilles calf injury, they're laying 8.5 on the road, total of 223.5. Your take?
The Celtics have been an absolute covering machine. And so I look at this game as, I know it is a big number of 8.5, but they're 15-8. The Celtics are against the spread on the season. This Bucks team is beat up. They have Ryan Rollins as their point guard, and honestly, their best player right now. I love the Celtics in this matchup.
They have won 5 games in a row, and Mikey, in doing so, to DG's point, 121, 126, 146, 123 are their last 4 point totals. So maybe even a team total bet might be in play, but you got to be careful and worry about a blowout.
You do have to worry about a blowout. But I wonder about the period of inactivity for both of these teams as well. We've had the NBA Cup spotlight over the last few days. A lot of people mad that the NBA slate has been slow. So you're either going to get a blowout and see one of these two teams protect their best players, or you're going to see maybe some slow shooting. So I do believe I like the Celtics team total in this one. I would just be hesitant to take the game total.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, if you don't like the NBA, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the NHL the last couple of nights. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games tonight. So if you really need to bet, boy, we've had 2 games in the last 2 days. We had Anaheim and Peyton's dad, Roger Lodge. His studios is right across the highway from the pond where the Ducks play. They scored the other night with 1 second to go to overtime. And the same night, the Edmonton Oilers scored with 1 second to go. The same night, Nashville scored with 8 seconds to go. All of those going to overtime. TNT is getting a bunch of good games. They really, really are. So maybe lean into that. We'll talk about it tonight on our premium pop-up. All right. We had a winning day yesterday despite your boy, your leader. Today, I'm going to pick up my part. It's time to lock it in. By the way, our boy in the chat, Big Cheesy, says all the NBA games are soaring to the over tonight. Maybe I'll play those with you, Big Cheesy. All right, 10 seconds or less, 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. DG, start me off.
Baker Mayfield going over the 18.5 rush yards at minus 114. You're talking about an Atlanta team that allows 20-plus rush yards in 5 of the last 6 games. He cashes again for us tonight. And then my favorite play is the Chase McLaughlin over the 7.5 kicking points at minus 115. 2 field goals, 2 extra points. Last 5 games, Falcons allowed 3 field goal attempts in each of those games.
Mikey P., you are up, sir.
I am back in love with Baker Mayfield because he's got weapons again. So give me Baker Mayfield over 218.5 passing yards in tonight's matchup against the Falcons. And with that, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team total over 24.5.
And I'm going to stay with a little bit. Say it all with me. Okay. Falcons, Bucks over 44. They landed on this number, the Saints and the Bucks, on Sunday. Love you very much. Text you. Pay attention in class. She says I always do. Okay.
Is that Peyton?
It is not Peyton. Somebody that's almost as old as Peyton, though, or Peyton is young. Anyway, Falcons, Bucks over 44. I also think Baker Mayfield will take it in his hands tonight, which means over 31.5 pass attempts, minus 122. A little juicy. Sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. All right, gentlemen, tonight I mentioned 13 NHL games. You got an NFL game. You got 4 NBA, and just a horrible slate in college basketball. But what are our TVs and our screens going to be on tonight? Mikey, start with you.
Well, I will start by being in this studio right here for a premium pop-up, and then the only other screen I can have is Thursday Night Football.
Boom. DG, what do we got on weekday wagers today?
Yeah, we're looking at the NBA as well as this NFL game, and that's what I'm watching tonight. I love this matchup with the Falcons and the Bucks. It should be a great game.
The Nuggets and the Kings. I think low key that could be a 250 plus game. Do you think so, DG?
100%. These teams are rested, and that's the biggest thing. They're going to get up and down the floor just a little bit faster. To Cheesy's point, we should see some scoring, especially early in the first quarter.
Mikey, the other two games tonight, Portland and New Orleans. New Orleans has been a very much an over team, as is Portland. And then you got the Clippers and Houston. The Clippers have become, since they dropped Chris Paul, a team that's as boring as any team in the entire NBA. James Harden, did anybody talk about the fact that he moved into the top 10 in scoring in NBA history the other night? Nope. Houston, they've been a good team, but Kevin Durant's been hurt. But they're 15-6. Of these 4 games tonight, Mikey, what do you think is going to be the best game?
I think the Houston game will be the best game, but I want to talk about who I think will be a must-see performer, and that's Derek Queen, the rookie center of the New Orleans Pelicans. I believe with no Donovan Clingan, he's coming off a 25-point triple-double. He's the most underrated player at the rookie level we've seen in the NBA this season, so I really like Derek Queen. I think he's appointment viewing right now.
By the way, Dylan Harper last night, we had him as a best bet. I was putting him in. Normally, I'll bet like 10 or 20 bucks. I wasn't paying attention, and I put in for some reason, I hit 40, and it was 12 and a half. I was like, what did I do? And I know that doesn't sound like a lot of money to all you guys, but I don't bet very much. But DG, he hit 1 bucket in the fourth quarter to get to 13. Prop bets are tough, man, aren't they?
They're tough, especially right now in the NBA, because one, you don't know who's playing. You don't know what the schedule is like. And so NBA is a tough sport to bet. I just kind of give that out to everybody. Just be careful with the NBA, because sometimes matchups are big, but also you don't know what their minutes look like. So yes, be careful in the player props.
And be careful with Austin Reeves. I think he's coming back down to earth just a little bit. His number's been 24 the last 2 nights. He had 4. I think last night he had, 15, something like that, as they got bounced by the Spurs. Gentlemen, well done today. Check you out today, DG, on Weekday Wagers. Mike, I'll see you tonight on Premium Pop-Up. All right, don't forget, we are still only halfway through on Stadium. Coming up in 3 minutes, we've got the Coach and Bro Show. All things John Cena, as one of the great careers comes to an end. In the meantime, though, right here, right now, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team, damn it, do I love them all. My man, Mikey P, DG from Memphis, producer man, always behind the scenes. I'm simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day right here. Coaching Company, presented by Not Without Hope, in theaters tomorrow. Have a great day.